Okay, we're going to practice making some letters to help you with your 3D name, your extruded name. So we have to start a new file. So we can either come up here and go to New File and select Part, which is Standard. So we can do it that way. Or if we wanted to, this under New and on the dashboard, actually this says New Part, so we can do it that way. Now, the important part that you're going to learn is to make sure that you have the browser on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, your browser keeps track of all of the things that you're actually doing in the program. If your browser happens to be missing, this is one of the few times that you're actually going to be going up into these tabs up here. And you're going to go to View, and you're going to go to User Interface, and you're going to make sure that Browser is checked. See, when you uncheck it, it's gone, and when you check it, it comes back. Okay, so make sure it's there. And make sure then that you are in the 3D Model tab. Try not to play around with the tabs up here that much because you can get lost. You're pretty much going to be using just a few of the menu choices because there's a lot more to do in here than what we're going to do in the next couple weeks. So we're going to start with some basic letters. Some basic letters would be the ones that have nice straight lines, like an L or a capital A or maybe a capital N. So for you to start any type of new part, you have to start with a 2D sketch. Not a 3D sketch, a 2D sketch. So we're going to select 2D. And we'll talk about the planes in a little bit, but for right now, let's just focus on, since you guys are most comfortable with the XY plane, let's focus on the XY plane. And to do nice straight-lined letters, all you have to do is use the line menu choice up here. And when you do the down arrow, you'll notice that there is a whole bunch of choices. We're just going to stick with the basic line. And when you bring your cursor over onto the sketch plane, you'll see the little crosshatch cursor with a yellow dot. You don't have to pay attention too much to the coordinates that's there for the XY plane. So we're going to just try, let's say we're going to try the letter L. So I'm going to click once, and then I'm going to actually drag my line downward. And I'm not really paying attention right now to how long or how big the letters that I'm making. I'm going to click, I'm going to make a vertical line, and I'm going to click a second time. And then I'm going to make a horizontal line. And if you notice, the line continues as long as you don't click too many times or hit escape on the keyboard, but it should keep going. So I'm going to click and make a horizontal line, and then I'm going to make a vertical line. And every time I hit a vertex or I hit a corner, I just click once. And then I'm going to come back in with a horizontal line and click once, and then I'm going to come up here and make a vertical line and try to make it as even as I can with the other one, and click. And then to finish it, what you want to do with your cursor is you want to make sure that we close the L. So to do this, we want to make sure that your cursor, your crosshatch, actually comes over to the top edge of the L, and it's got to become green. See how that becomes green there? If it's not green, that means it's not attaching to the other line. So if you're having a really hard time getting it to be green, what you can do is use your mouse, and the roller on the mouse acts as a zoom. So wherever you place this cursor at, so let's say I want to zoom into this area, all you got to do is put the cursor there and use the roller and zoom in or zoom out, depending on which way you roll the roller on the mouse. Now I'm going to zoom in as close as I can to the top edge of my L to make sure I get it to be green. And then I'm going to click once. I have completely finished my L, so I'm going to use my left hand, and on the keyboard I'm going to find the escape key, which is in the top left corner, and hit escape. Now, obviously, I've zoomed out, so I can, or I've zoomed in so far that I have to zoom out, so I can use the roller again to try to zoom out, or this nice little corner up here is a fabulous thing to start learning how to use. This is called a view cube. It shows different sides of your three-dimensional figure once you actually make it three-dimensional. And it also has what's called a home view. That's a little house. So we're going to click on the home view and see how it brought the L into view. I would like to look at it actually so it's flat, so it's two-dimensional, it's facing me. So I'm going to figure out which side of the view cube I have to click. There we go. And I can zoom in again. I'm not too happy with this L, so what I can do is I can grab a hold with my mouse one of the edges and kind of shorten this up. If I want this to be a little bit thinner, or if I want this to be a little bit thinner, so I can kind of play with it a little bit. And if you notice, my entire L was made by one long continuous line. Now, if you make a mistake with that, so you're having trouble with the long continuous line, there's a key up here in the top left-hand corner that is fabulous. I'm sorry, it's a menu choice, not a key. It's a menu choice in the top left-hand corner is undo. Undo allows you to undo as many moves as you need to undo. Please do not make one mistake on top of another mistake on top of another mistake and then just keep trying to fix it by making more mistakes. Hit undo to see if you can correct the first mistake that you've made. So that's a really good key to use. So we have our L done. That's all we're going to do as far as right now. So I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. And you got to use Finish Sketch. Please do not jump in between the tabs over here. Please hit Finish Sketch. And when you finish the sketch, we want to make it three-dimensional. So we're going to come over here to Extrude to make it three-dimensional. And once you have Extrude, I'm going to click on the letter, and it extrudes way too far. So we want to make it a lot thinner. So if you notice, you can grab a hold of this menu and drag it around out of the way. You can also grab a hold of this one by grabbing this little tiny rectangle and pull it around out of the way. And you can extrude things a couple different ways. So first of all, let's change the amount. You can change the numbers in either one of the boxes. So let's change it, make it smaller. Let's make it 0.25 of an inch. And you can extrude different directions. So that would be to the front. Maybe we can do it to the rear. Okay. Maybe we want to do it half and half. Or maybe we want to do it disproportionately, so it's a little bit more in the front than in the back. And then it asks you what you want to do as far as how much in the front and how much in the back. But let's actually just do it forward, so to the front. So once we actually have that, we're going to click OK. And now we have the letter L. I'm going to click the home view. We have the letter L. If you come over to your browser, you can actually see that. Use the arrow next to extrusion and just run your mouse over it. That sketch 1 is the L, and your extrusion is the extrusion of your L. Okay. So now you would want to come on up here and go through the how do I save as process that you learned in a previous video, and you want to save this part as my name extruded. So you're actually going to put your name and then extruded, and then in the next video we'll continue on with another letter.